Alright. I am now live on Twitch, YouTube, and Facebook. Everything appears to be working good. How's it going, everyone? We'll be starting here in just a couple of seconds. Great. All right, and I see my video on YouTube. So, hello, Ponton, Darnolf, Druid's Fire, Sam, Rowan of Gondor, and everyone else in chat. Hello, and welcome to Court of the Rings, here on twitch.tv/LOTROstream, youtube.com/Lord of the Rings/live, and facebook.com/LOTRO. I am LOTRO's community manager, Cordovan, and we're going to be just doing some questing and all that sort of thing later today. But I wanted to start off with a little bit of a news segment, because we've got things happening. So first off, I want to mention this weekend is Weatherstock X, the 10, and that's happening on Landreval, basically from 10 a.m. until, I don't know, basically all day long. And you can find out more information about that at LOTROartists.com. They are, of course, doing an excellent job keeping everything up to date there. So let me actually just quick call up the page for folks here so that you can see what's going on. So, yep, Weatherstock 10 schedule starts at 10 a.m. with an on-site gathering, opening ceremony, opening set for 10:30, and it does go until, looks like, well, basically through the entire afternoon into the early evening. And what is this I see about a certain Druid's Fire live streaming it on LOTRO stream? Hello, Druid's Fire.
Hello, Jerry. How you doing, Chad?
You just decided, you know what? I never want to leave this seat.
No. The way it works is you're busy this weekend.
Yep.
Elda is going to be running giveaways in chat all day long tomorrow. And, yeah, her internet's not up to streaming it this year. So, I'm like the third stringer, so backup quarterback.
Yeah, I appreciate you being able to do this, and I know it's a big commitment on your part and Elda's part and the mods' part. Like I said, I can't be there this weekend, but I will be having the chat up to deal with any kind of emergency moderation we need to do. We will have our GMs doing the typical support that we do for Weatherstock, so there will be an official presence there, but I can't stream it myself because this is one of my big weekends with my kid, so I got to do the dad thing, and that's important too. So Weatherstock folks, if you're listening, move this thing into after Gen Con in August, and I would be a lot more involved in Weatherstock. So just saying, maybe you don't want to do it all just because of me. I'm just saying, if you want to make changes because of me, move it into August. It'll make my life so much easier.
Jerry. Come on.
Yeah. Anyway, so Weatherstock X is this weekend, and we got a lot of bands going on. I see, just like I said, you can find it all on LOTROartists.com, but it's going to be a huge weekend. Even if you just want to roll up a quick character on Landreval and check it out, we see that happen just about every year. They see big crowds, great music, a lot of fun. And if you're working, or frankly, if you're gaming, if you're on LOTRO, doing some questing and all that sort of thing, and you just want to have Weatherstock happening on a side browser window or something like that, LOTRO stream is going to be the place to be. And you're kicking off at around, what, about 10:30?
I will probably start it up right before 10 o'clock, basically, that makes sure that I can get logged in, because one of the things about Weatherstock and why we stream it is it's a lag fest. In previous years, before the whole consolidation of the servers a couple years ago, Weatherstock routinely crashed the zone, and in fact is the direct reason why RK bubbles and various multiplayer heals got nerfed, so you couldn't heal as many people as before. It's because of Weatherstock.
Well, not entirely, but sure, in part, yeah. I mean, it was performance improvements outside of Weatherstock too, but that sort of thing happened. So yeah, I mean, come on, folks, don't be an idiot, But anyway, that'll be happening here. So hope you enjoy it. Hope everyone has a good time. Good luck to all the bands. Good luck to all the organizers. I know that they do have some title codes they'll be giving out. We'll be giving out some stuff, including a couple of Mordor's collector's editions, I believe. I got Elda. If I didn't, I will do that now. And some LOTRO points, some other cool giveaways and title codes and things like that as well. So we have some pretty cool stuff happening there, and that is tomorrow, Saturday, all day long, here on LOTRO Stream.
And many thanks to McVegan Pants, Stefala, I'm sorry, Skymantic, and Balviel for sacrificing their streams this weekend so we can do this.
Great. All right. Just kind of checking chat real quick. Nothing too major to mention there. The other big thing I want to mention is not next weekend, not this weekend, not next weekend, but the Friday after that. Friday, August 3rd. Friday, August 3rd from 7 p.m. until 10 p.m. Eastern Time. We're having a player meetup. We're doing it in Indianapolis, Indiana. It's taking place the Friday evening of Gen Con, but you don't have to be going to Gen Con to go to this thing. If you can make it to the downtown Indianapolis area, we are going to be hanging out at Social on McCree. There is a forum thread that you can find out about this. It's in the announcements forum, and we will be putting it out on social media as well. I'll be there. Tolero's going to be there. Severlin's going to be there. We're going to have, I think, some special guests. It's DDO and LOTRO meetup, so players from all of our games are going to be meeting at Social on McCree. It is a cash bar, so you are responsible for your own money for beverages, but we're going to be having swag. And let me show you, for example, we don't have one of these for everyone. I've only got about 5 of them to give away due to the cost of making them. But if you can see this, let me see if I can show this in front of the camera. We have got a 2018-2019 calendar, and that's got a bunch of stuff. This actually came to us from Solzance. They put this together for us. And yeah, we're going to be giving away some of these awesome calendars with LOTRO art and all that too. We do have some like kind of t-shirts and things like that we'll be able to give away as well. A lot of the swag's frankly old swag, but if it's new to you, it's awesome. So stop on by 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. Eastern, Friday, August 3rd, Social on McCree in Indianapolis, Indiana. We will see you there, hopefully. No ticket necessary. It's all free. Other than, like I say, you're buying your own drinks, paying your own parking in Indianapolis, which is pretty cheap. Hope you have a good time.
And of course, you have to be 21.
Yeah, that's a good point. You do have to be 21. It is a bar.
There's also a minor event, since Sam Burke is in chat and it was throwing out the kin name. Next Saturday, I think it's either noon or 1 o'clock here on Landreval, the Department of Hobbit Security will be taking your predecessor ×2 to Isengard again. Sapiens is going to come hang out with us and shoot the breeze and tell all the dirty secrets. No, he's not. He knows better. To come hang out with us, the DHS is going to play a bit of a concert beforehand, and then we're going to run to Isengard. So everybody is welcome to join us. See if we can get him there alive again, and if not, oh well, that happens.
Yep. Otherwise, I would just quick mention that we did have a patch this week. Let me quick call up the release notes just to make sure that if there's anything we need to talk about related to that. You can find this information on the forums. This was released on Tuesday. We fixed an issue with Warden skills, an issue with Gorgoroth Steelbound loot boxes, added some more items to them. We understand that there is a controversy involving the one steed of the tireless. I really am not going to get into that on the stream here because it's complex and highly controversial among some folks here. We've heard your feedback and we're working on a fix for it. I don't have a solution to announce right now, but we are working on a fix to hopefully make as many folks happy as we can. The steed that managed to get out into that loot box looks a little bit too close to the Metadeed steed. We recognize that, and we're working to fix it. It shouldn't have even quite gone out how it did, but there was a system of... There were a couple of things that happened that accidentally put this thing out, and we're going to be working to correct it. So, but in the meantime, if you like that steed, it is going to stay there, so you can go get it now if you want to, and if you're upset about it, we're working to correct this issue, and we will have more information to hopefully make you happy in the near future. Otherwise, we just did a couple of, a Plague Cauldron issue. The other big thing that we did is we have disabled mailing for Mithril. This is part of our efforts to address spam and fraud, particularly fraud. We unfortunately, I talked about this a bit last week, but we ran the numbers, and while some players do legit use mailing for Mithril, we recognize that. The overwhelming use of it was by these scammers, and we had to do something to put a stop to it. So we recognize it's an inconvenience for some folks. We're, again, kind of thinking about ways we can make everyone happy here, but for now we have to keep Mithril, mailing for Mithril disabled because it's I don't know if I can actually give the numbers, but we saw something like, oh God, I can't even say, I'm sorry. We saw a huge drop in the number of sort of account compromise and account security and spammer reporting and things like that tickets when we did this thing by just on an order of magnitude of tens of thousands. So it was a very significant change that we just had to do, and we do apologize for those that do use the mailing for Mithril and are used to using that for legit purposes, and we're working to kind of figure out what we can do there long term to help you folks out. I can't answer your question, Lexicon, about whether or not GMs are doing, or not, it wouldn't be GMs, but the account support team is doing refunds related to the end of Mithril mailing. I would just get in touch with them, and they'll sort of take a look at your concern. Why do I put known issues in if there are known issues? That's a good question. I put it there to draw attention to it so that people know if there should be known issues that we need to get immediate word out about, that's where to look. So yeah, I do even include that known issues even when I don't have any, because typically the way that stuff is added is we go live, it's like, oh my God, this thing's on fire, I better tell people it's on fire. And so then I put it in that note, and I put it in there even when there isn't one, so that you know that's where to look. So. Okay. All right, yeah. Let's get to the gameplay. I agree. Let's get to the gameplay here. I think I pretty much... Actually, there is one more thing I could mention. I wonder if I can actually mention this, though. You know what? I'm going to. I am ready. One of the things that has kept me super duper busy this week is the thing that we've long been kind of promising, and that is the Hobbit Presence and loot box page. That is almost ready to go. It was ready to go earlier this week, and then we discovered that we did not have a few of the items localized. So we had to take care of that. Let me actually call this over. I'm just going to do, you are seeing behind the scenes. This is the actual page itself that is in staging and is not yet live. I wonder if it'll even let me show it. Maybe it won't let me show it. Nope, our security details won't even let me show it. But anyway, the page is ready to go. I've just got 5 more names to drop into the French-German client, and then we're going to publish it, and hopefully publish that later today. So the Hobbit Presence and loot box information page should be ready to go later today. I know it's not going to be 100% perfect on the first go of it, but we want to get this started. We want to get this out there for transparency, for knowledge, so you know what you can get, so that you know how you can get it. You can kind of get some sense of how our loot boxes work and how the Hobbit Presence work, and so that's going to be coming real soon. All right, now let's get in the game. Why is it so misty here, Druid's Fire?
There's a snowstorm.
Snur.
Shall we go to Goblinstock?
Yep. Any Wilden, if one of your friends was able to scam a GM into doing something they shouldn't have done, that sucks. But that's not really something I can address here.
Yeah, the only thing I ever got out of a GM was a clickable chicken.
It's almost like our GMs. Our GMs are human. They are well trained, but they are human. So they do the best they can.
You are in big head mode, by the way.
Oh, I am. There we go.
Well, it's for your fangirls. Come on, Jer. All 3 of them.
I am not aware that we changed the cosmetic. Why is the cosmetic from Cloak of Emer changed? That's news to me. I don't have any idea. I don't think we changed anything deliberately there. Will we ever get to dye shields? That has come up. It's going to involve a little bit of, my understanding, a little bit of engineering work to be able to bring that dye system more consistently there. But do I need to talk to Gloin here?
Nah. Now, if we're gonna focus on the epic, we just go in and kill goblins.
Yeah, okay. We'll just do that then. How do I ask Cordovan a question like in the live stream are appearing? No47 says. Yes, you can ask it, No47. I will do my best to answer. What you laver? I am laver 53. Where will it be published regarding the loot box page? It'll be published on LOTRO.com. Oh, man, I gotta... So I switched my stuff out for that stupid raid, and then I stopped doing it again. And now I've got to... All my damage stuff is set to the control keys, for the most part. It's causing me troubles. I know, folks, my hotbar is a disaster. It's always a disaster in every video game I ever play. That's just the reality of it.
And I sent him screenshots of what it should look like.
I've been playing DDO for 12 years. You should still see my hotbars there. Yep. Till, will the new raid be a multi-boss raid? I can't give any details about the new raid. My understanding is it'll be a fairly significant raid, but what form exactly that's going to take, I just don't even want to get into at this point.
We're done. We need to go back to Rivendell.
That's it?
Yeah, that's it.
Wait a second, I've still got for Book 11, Chapter 10, collect coveted gems 5 of 8.
Oh, well, you've been talking and not killing things, then let's go kill some more goblins.
Talking and not killing things is pretty much should be the name of the show, but, you know. Am I supposed to be killing a specific mob, do you know, for these kind of things?
Yeah, typically if you hover your mouse or your cursor over the goblins, it should show you that they're going to give you the loot you're looking for.
Okay.
I love how this one guy's just over here chilling, sleeping.
I appreciate your feedback, Ben, over on Facebook, but I really don't want to get into a long conversation about people's satisfaction or dissatisfaction with in-game GM behavior. That's just not really a topic that I think would be productive to do on the live stream here. I learned from, well, did I learn my lesson? No. But I think last week was a pretty good example of maybe I should keep my mouth shut on some topics. It's amazing how much that one thing blew up. Hey, there's my 7th. Glad to hear that, Eric, about the warden changes. Glad to see that we're seeing... Oh, I must have picked up my last one here. Let's kill these Goblin Town workers. And now let's head on out. Or can you teleport us straight from here into Rivendell?
I can port us back to Rivendell.
Okay. Will there be new classes balanced with the Grey Mountains update, or are you saving the balance for dot updates? I think that there will be some work in Update 23. Now, those same folks are quite busy doing a bunch of different things, so I don't think it's going to be a huge class balance work in Update 23, because we have like itemization and just a whole bunch of other things we have to do. But I do think there will be some in there, and then I think we're going to see more, as you mentioned in the comments, potentially in a point update or two during that process. So I wouldn't say there won't be any in 23, but I think it may be more around the realm of bugs fixing rather than, say, complete overhauling of things. But we'll just kind of have to see how things go in the coming weeks here.
Now we get to ride back to Kendaleth.
Yep. Here, actually, stand still a second. Let me just follow you so I can keep an eye on chat. There we go. Okay.
I'm gonna run him off a cliff, chat.
Didn't mailing for Mithril generate sales for SSG outside of the scamming? I mean, it did, but ultimately we had to make a decision regarding our efforts to to deal with spammers and scammers, and had to make a decision. So yeah, not everything we do is about making money here. So I want to ask if we're going to see any of the old items like cosmetics at some point in the store. Potentially. There was actually a conversation not too long ago about some more things that we could do. Now, we want to be careful that we don't step on any earned things like the recent controversy we've seen with the steed of shifting hues. But we do have intentions to bring back some of these old cosmetics, things that have kind of been lost through time, things that are in particularly old content that people want a fresh chance to get, things like that. So if we bring Mithril Coin back, we will let you know. At this point, we don't know. We don't know. We'll see. We'll see what we can do. I don't know. There's a bunch of conversations happening. Clearly there are people who want us to bring it back. There's a couple of good, really excellent posts on the forums that are kind of explaining why, why it's hurting certain folks. And we are not unsympathetic to that, those arguments. But we need to find a good way to resolve this issue that doesn't open the door again to spammers and scammers.
Do you not have journeyman riding on this account?
I don't know. I should. I'm pretty sure I do. I've been asked this question a bunch. Is there something DDO has in game that I wish LOTRO had? I'm sure I could think of something. I really like DDO's Quest UI panel. It's actively used. The LFM panel is actively used in a way that I don't see in LOTRO. I see in LOTRO people using more kind of world chat and that to look for groups. And in DDO, there you just open up the UI, click on the quest you want to run, and join someone's group. And although that technically I think does actually exist in LOTRO here, it's just not really utilized. So I think I'd like to see that utilized in LOTRO. I think it would be really beneficial. Do I disable God mode when questing during Court of the Rings? Beyond that, I do not run... my character is a regular play character that I'm using on Court of the Rings, and when I play LOTRO for fun, on my off hours and all that sort of thing, it's just a regular character. I get some free LOTRO points and things like that, so it's not 100% one-to-one, but it is not an admin character. I don't get special privileges, things like that. If I have specific admin business to do, then I will log into a different account that has those privileges, but that's not the characters I actually run with.
And you'd still manage to find a way to die in an admin character too, I'm sure.
No, as a matter of fact. The admin characters cannot die unless we specifically enable that ability.
I'm sure you could find a way.
Well, yeah, I could disable that ability. But the reason they do that is because we'll go in to take screenshots, say, of a monster or something like that, and you just need to sort of sit there for 20 minutes getting attacked while you take screenshots. So...
Why did you dismount? I always stop for indigo plants. You know that.
Oh. The joint instance finder was used at first, but people gave up on it after being thrown in groups without a healer tank or both. Sure. Yeah, I think I don't think... Maybe there's some kind of tech issues that could further improve it for usage in LOTRO, but my belief is that it's largely a cultural thing. That LOTRO, similar to a lot of other kind of MMOs, just doesn't really group through UI. They instead group through chat. Maybe I'm wrong about that. What do you think, Druid's Fire? Would you say that's a pretty accurate assessment?
It's an accurate assessment. I definitely think there's room for improvement there, yeah.
Yep.
Of course, those of us who are used to playing other games as well, I mean, there's always going to be the, well, if X game can do this, why can't you guys do it? And there's always, there's a question of system resources and tech that, under the hood stuff that we won't know any interest in.
I mean, to some extent, I think if people chose to use the, the quest grouping panel and things like that more regularly, it would probably, it would do a lot of what people are doing through chat right now, but people just don't use it. So, and since nobody uses it, nobody looks at it. Since nobody looks at it, nobody uses it, etc., right? So. You have returned! Was Marilos able to repair the keys as I thought she would? Excellent, Twinstrel. It is to be hoped that one of these keys will unlock the door that leads deeper into the ruin of Delossid, and we may recover Narkiel hidden somewhere within. Return to Muildir, southeast of Eked Candleth, and outside the entrance to Delossid, and tell him what is to be done. We have an advantage now over the searching Angmarim, Twinstrel. I can feel it. Hurry to Muildir, and may you return with Narkiel. Okay. It's a Tolkien-inspired game if it doesn't require walking an hour and reciting long text speeches to get something done, then it's not worth doing. Now that is amusing. That's funny. I have not read all of the quest lines from LOTRO. Your husband completed all but one item on the anniversary. Let me hit you a follow again here. Just a second, so I can read this chat. Okay. My husband completed all but one item on the anniversary scavenger hunt year 1 quest with me. When we logged on later, my character still had the quest, but my husband's character did not. He will have to start completely over. We thought those quests were ongoing, that your character would not lose their progress. My understanding is that the year is saved, but like the individual segment you're on is not. Am I correct in that, Druid's Fire?
I believe you are correct in that.
Okay. So sorry, you are going to have to rerun that bit. Perhaps there can be an XP bonus added for grouping? Perhaps, yes. You know, Gowner 1144, specifically regarding the ability to change neighborhoods while in a thing, I'm down for that. I would like to see that personally myself, but I can't make any kind of promises that it'll get done, but I too would like to see that. I think there's some technical thing having to do with
Don't die, you're on your own.
with sort of the way instances are created and all that sort of thing, but it's a solvable problem. It would just take a little work. I need to move that Coda of Fury to somewhere more prominent.
Or you could just switch to red line properly.
Yes, I need to do that.
How else you were supposed to learn?
Yeah. I've just been super busy in real life, and I've just literally not had time to spend time to reach rate. I wish we could get an audio file of the ambient background sounds. Love the music, but there are days I just want the dungeon sounds playing while cleaning the house. That's a really interesting idea. I mean, I think, honestly, you could kind of do that yourself. Just kind of open the UI, turn off the music, turn up the elements that you want to view, and then record it. I don't know if we have that in a state that I could just sort of grab the audio file and put it up. I think I'd have to kind of create that file myself. But it's a really cool idea. I like it a lot. So perhaps I can put that on my to-do list.
How long is that list? 5 miles?
Yeah, pretty much. Got tent set up and kids keep wanting to sleep in the tent instead of the house. Going to be 3 days in a row tonight. You know, I am going through the exact same thing. We did an outdoor camping, backyard camping excursion with my 6-year-old last weekend. And ever since then, pretty much every night he's just like, let's just sleep in the tent. Let's sleep in the tent. The house is not for sleeping anymore. It's for playing, and then you go outside to sleep, in his mind. But we had a huge thing of rain, and the tent got totally flooded out, unfortunately. So I have an excuse as to why I am choosing not to sleep in the backyard. Will LOTRO ever stop making new expansions anytime soon, as we're pretty much at what's the end of the LOTRO story? Well, not really. It's true that we've gone to Mordor, but there is plenty left to talk about. Update 23 is not an expansion, so I can say that. I would imagine that at some point in the future we'll be doing another expansion, but I don't have anything to announce, obviously, at this point. Loving the new additions to the loot boxes, the pets housing items, some fantastic ideas. Got the Lake Town Guards uniform the other day. Thank you so much. That's great to hear that some folks are enjoying that. 'Tis why we do it. Do I respond to all PMs on the forums? No. Absolutely not. There's no way I could do that. It would be a full-time job. I do, however, read almost every single PM that I get. There's a few cases where people have, let's say, not like the answer I've given them and will not let it go. And so there have been a few times where I've had to just sort of stop reading the conversation. But for the most part, I read like 99.98% of everything that comes into my PM inbox. I respond probably 30% of it, but I read everything. Like I say, I actually get so many PMs in a day that, I mean, I typically get at least a couple an hour, so it's, and that includes the overnight hours. So I get back to work and I've got to Nice full inbox. But I do read absolutely everything that is sent in to me for the most part. Okay, now I need to talk to Moodledeer. What are my thoughts on level scaling? Saw that forum post a few days ago on the LOTRO forums. In what way are you talking about level scaling? Question, is there a way to get the exclusive items given by the previous higher expansion tiers and or the pre-orders? It depends as to how they were worded and marketed. So if we said something is exclusive to, say, a pre-purchase, which we've done in the past for expansions, then we are legally obligated not to include that in the future. So the answer to that question is no. However, there are some things that are, say, exclusive to a specific bundle or something like that, like with Mordor, and that bundle remains available indefinitely. So that stuff, you know, you can still get from within the bundle. But could we take something, let's just say, for example, that we said was exclusive to the Mordor package, and then just put that into the DDO store, or not DDO store, LOTRO store? Typically, no. If we say it's an exclusive, then it's an exclusive. Can you update Hobbit Presence as they are horrible? The odds of getting piles of scrap are like, what, 80%? We would like to, as a matter of fact, actually do some work on Hobbit Presence. It's not in our immediate plans. We've got some other priorities to deal with, but yeah, we would like to perhaps do something along those lines in the future. Zone scaling. What an unusual item. Why, hello, Lairden and fine elf maiden.
This is like the serious part of the story. This is like one of the best parts of chapter 1.
Cool. So what you're saying is maybe I shouldn't make fun of it.
Correct. Otherwise, Maid of Lines will hit you with a nerf from the back of the head. And Chris Pearson will look at you very sternly.
I have noticed a huge drop in gold spam tells, so thank you for that. Yeah, we've noticed it too. It's, you can never really declare victory on that kind of thing, but yeah. At least for now, it's made a pretty big difference. I think creeps need a nerf, someone says. I am going to say that I suspect the creepside community would disagree with you. Thank you to the fine folks over on Facebook, Sarah and crew. Sorry, I'm being a little quiet because I'm trying not to die here. It would be not fun if worms killed me on stream.
Embarrassing.
Oh. When you're as good as I am, nothing will embarrass you.
So, does that mean you want to try to do the Thrang instance again when the summer encore comes up?
Oh, sure. Yeah, it sounds fine. I'm sure we'll do great. Any changes for Runekeeper planned soon? I have not heard of any intention to change Runekeeper. Yeah. Okay, so White Sky, which specifically you're talking about, say, like the Collector's Ultimate of Rohan. Unfortunately not. The way that that was marketed back in the day is this is an exclusive to this thing, and this thing will only be around for a limited time. So the reality is we've kind of boxed ourselves in a legal corner there where we cannot offer that stuff for sale in the future. Sorry. That's why we don't do too much of that nowadays. But there is also a possibility some items have just kind of been lost through the ages. And so for that kind of thing, it is worth absolutely continuing to ask for that stuff on the forums, because you never know, you might reach someone, you know, one of us will read it and be like, what did happen with that? And then we found out, oh, hey, you know, we can actually bring that back if we want to. And so, you know, that while that specific thing with the Rohan pre-purchase may not be possible, you know, it's not to say that other things in the future could not be.
Isn't Red Panda looking at stuff like that?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Absolutely he is. That's one of the things he's been trying to do in recent weeks, actually. That's one of those things, it's like, we want more stuff to sell, you want more stuff to buy. Let's see if we can find some things from the archives, really, that are just kind of got lost through time, as it were. Or, you know, in other cases, and we've mentioned this before, like, say, if we did say something, call something an exclusive in a way that we can't, say, bring that thing back, that's not to say we couldn't make a variant of it in many cases. I mean, we ought to be careful, you know, how we do that, but, you know, as you've just seen, we want to be careful about how we do that. But there are times where we can do that, and it makes people happy. So here's the thing about the, well, why don't we just offer that Rohan pack back for a limited time? It depends on how we worded it. If at the time we were like, you have until June 30th of 2012 or whatever to order this thing, and then that's it. We can't bring it back, you know. That's just the reality of it. Largely due to European, actually, consumer laws, but still, nonetheless. Sneak Witch, I like it. It's a great name.
There's a very loud movie that'll play at the end when you get the travel now option 5 years from now.
Thanks for warning me. Any plan for a captain in Update 23? I don't know what the exact... I think it's going to be largely focusing on bug fixes for classes in Update 23, at least in the initial one, and then we'll be doing more work in the point updates after that. But I don't know specifically which classes are going to be there. What opened up here? Must be something roundish this way? Yeah. Oh no. Oh yeah, here we go. Okay. When is Farmers Fest? You can find that information on the forums. Look to the official discussion forums on our event schedule. We have it completely listed there. We have considered new cosmetic outfits and that specifically for Creepside. I think it really just kind of comes down to economics. How much would it cost to make? How much would we expect to make from it? And I'm not sure that those two have aligned in a way that makes it a priority for us. Hey, Edward T, nice to see you. Has the team moved away from doing class balance work? No. That is actually very much still a priority. However, getting Update 23 out is a priority as well. And so we have to balance sort of how much we can do compared to other things we need to get done, compared to other systems work that has to get done, etc., etc., etc. So, you know, it's going to kind of ebb and flow in terms of the quantity of classwork that gets done, but the intention absolutely is to keep doing it. We are going to keep doing it, and it'll be done ongoing here for a while. Smash you with my head, Sithad Root Crawler. What? You resisted it? Alright.
The sad thing is you haven't taken the pending quest that's available there, so you're not getting credit for killing those crawlers, and you know, you won't get XP for it. And it's kind of sad because this is a plus 25% XP weekend for everybody.
That's right. Oh, yeah, that's a good point. It is a plus 25%. What was the pending quest? Where was it?
Oh my god, look in the upper right-hand corner below the map.
Oh, that rotting roots? Okay. Yeah, whatever.
See what I have to put up with, chat? Seriously. Yeah.
I am reading chat, Valentin. I don't really have a good answer to why you feel the game is too expensive. Would we consider the idea of translating LOTRO to other languages an impossible fact? I assume you mean it's something it's not impossible, but it is not something we have any intention to do. I'm sorry. It is costly, and it's just not something we intend to do anytime soon. Will the LOTRO engine ever be moved to 64-bit? Yes, that is an intention of ours. It too has kind of taken a backseat to other work in the short term, but it is something that we are actively pursuing. Uh-oh, they have found Narkiel. Well, how do you know that? What if we both like dwarven french fries? And then we're standing in line someday. Any plans to expand the media tab on the LOTRO website? More screenshots and artwork. I kind of am hesitant to say no. I don't really see that media tab getting a lot of attention because people don't really pay attention to it. So I really don't see us making that a priority. I think we would rather put that stuff on more active places like, say, Facebook, YouTube, and that. Theoretically, we could, though. Are you all right? The Black Numenorian appeared outside Delasset, and I only had a moment in which to hide myself. Twere it any other opponent, I would have engaged him in battle, but I could not hope to defeat him without others of my kindred. He came to the door and passed inside, and I followed behind him in secret, hoping beyond hope that I might oppose him in the final need. I shudder to think what he might have done had he known I was there. Let us leave this place, friend. You can tell me what you have learned as we travel out of the shadows of this sad ruin. All right, I've turned down the volume, but just in case, be prepared.
The Rangers of Evendim mourn their numbers slain during Mordrembor's escape from Tinudir. Meanwhile, the Angmarim searched the wilderness for Narhuil, the ring of Amarthiel. I fear that Amarthiel has already discovered Narhuil's resting place, and with it, the doom of the North.
Narhuil. Okay, so I've been saying it wrong. Narhuil. I will have to try to get better at that. I do my best to try to say things correctly, but I am not a Tolkien scholar, so, you know. And it is 1 o'clock here, Druid's Fire, so I am going to take off. Oh, thank you so much, Charissa. Appreciate that. Why do these Indian game videos use Windows audio levels instead of client audio levels? Good question. I don't know. I, too, would like to see that done sometime.
It's baked into the actual files that are played. For my
yeah, it's just
Somebody would have to find the files and split out the
Yeah,
audio and basically re-encode
It's a
them,
Bink
you know.
video file, so they would need to do some kind of work to incorporate the Bink video audio into the LOTRO game client stuff. But still, I hear ya. All right, that's going to wrap it up then. So, a quick reminder, Weather Stocks this weekend starts around 10 o'clock tomorrow morning, runs all the way through the afternoon into the early evening. You'll be streaming it here at Druid's Fire right here at twitch.tv/LotraStream. If you're questing and you just kind of want to have it on in the background, see what's going on, check it out, or if you just want to stop by Landreval and see it yourself, we hope to see you there. We hope you have a really great weekend. Will I be back next Friday? Yes, I will be back next Friday with more Court of the Rings. Until then, have fun. And next is Corey, and then you're going to be on, and you can find the full schedule over on Twitch.
We're going to run the 12-man Isengard instance with Professor Corey, and it's not going to be a train wreck because we actually have a whole bunch of people who know what the hell they're doing. So should be fun, so stick around. Professor Corey, we're cheesing it. We're all going in, most of us with high-level characters, so we can, beat up on the content and let him go sightseeing as he does best. So stick around.
Yep. And thank you, Gormiat. I sucked on my mini less than usual. All right. That's a great way to kick off my weekend. Thank you so much, everybody. And I'll see you again soon.